Next, I'm honored to present the National Groundwater Association's 2012 M. King Hubbert Award for Major Science Contribution to the Knowledge of Groundwater. The 2012 recipient of the M. King Hubbert Award is Professor Brian Berkowitz of the Weizmann Institute of Science in Rehovot, Israel.
Brian began in the groundwater field with his doctoral studies in hydrology in the mid-1980s at the Israel Institute of Technology, Haifa, Israel. Currently the head of the Department of Environmental Sciences and Energy Research at the Institute, Brian is a highly respected scientist who has provided pioneering contributions in several key fields of subsurface hydrology, according to his nominator, Jacob Baer. Also his mentor, Jacob added, "I have seen Brian develop into an indisputably first-class research scientist. His broad international reputation is evidenced by his election as a Fellow of the American Geophysical Union and the Geological Society of America, by his appointment as editor of Water Resources Research, and by his many invited talks and collaborations throughout Europe and North America." Brian finds his work inspiration when looking at basic curiosity-driven science problems and asking why. He believes this approach and the resulting understanding leads to the real breakthroughs in theory and practice. Mentoring graduate students and postdocs is rewarding for Brian. To quote the Talmud, Brian explained, "Much have I learned from my teachers, more from my colleagues, but most from my students." Brian is also an accomplished musician, playing the bassoon professionally both in Canada and Israel, and holding the ARCT Piano Performer Diploma from the Royal Conservatory of Music in Toronto, Canada. When the award was announced, Brian was thrilled, honored, and humbled. He added, "Advances in science are a result of team efforts, so an award to a particular person recognized the efforts of an entire group of colleagues and students. I felt most grateful to the many people with whom I have had the pleasure of working."
Thank you very much. I'd just like to reinforce again that these kinds of awards are very much a team effort, and I've been extremely fortunate to work with a very large group of students and colleagues. I realized I've had over 110 co-authors in various papers I've written, so it's very much a team effort in all of these projects. And as you saw the pictures there, I also have to thank my family, because very often we're at the blackboard in a laboratory trying to debug codes as often as 2 o'clock in the morning, and I've had nothing but tremendous support from my family in this as well. Coming from the academic side, it's very clear to me that to make significant and relevant contributions to the field, and as I like to say, we don't do string theory. We're worried about groundwater, and it's a very practical issue. We really need to have a very good dialogue with industry to understand what the real questions, what the real problems are. And I applaud and encourage the NGWA for its efforts to have this kind of a feedback and this interaction with academia. And I'd like to request and encourage further interaction here, because very often we have in academia we have solutions for problems that don't exist, and very often in industry you're looking for solutions and we don't even know what the problems happen to be. So there's a very important aspect here to continue the interaction between the two sides. Thank you very much again.